Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. I wanted to cover just a couple things before we get started. First of all, at your seat you should have received a flyer on some upcoming events. A couple things I wanted to make note of is if you don't have a up-to-date professional headshot, we do have an opportunity for that on September 28th. We also have our annual meeting coming up on October 5th, and IAR's legal counsel, who runs the legal hotline for the state, is going to be doing a presentation, and they do an awesome job of really netting out what you guys are seeing in the field, where the hiccups are coming and what types of questions they have. And so we encourage you to be there. It's a great opportunity to hear some great speakers, and it's a nice event at the Bel Air. Also, we have a tactical training session, and that's through Indiana Pitt. As we all know, this industry is ripe for safety issues, and Indiana Pitt does a great job of really teaching you all aspects of safety. And with that, you don't just sit there and listen to it, you do it. So it is a great opportunity to learn some really great skills. So we only have 2 sessions of those right now. They're both on October 26th. One is in the morning at 8:30 and the other is at 1:30. So please sign up for those. Also, October 5th is a great day for lock boxes. So today and tomorrow, any and all lock boxes that we can get turned back into RACI, those will be shipped back to SentriLock. So any that we can get, we want those delivered by 5 o'clock on Thursday. Any that are outstanding after that time need to be returned to RACI by October 5th. Now that is also the annual meeting, and we will be accepting them there as well. But as many as we can get prior to that time would be great. Regardless of how many lock boxes you as a managing broker, for those of you who are managing brokers, has returned, you will get your full allotment of lock boxes, and that is based off of current listing volume. And as always, as listing volumes fluctuate and hopefully go up, won't we all like that, you are welcome to more lock boxes. So let us know if you do need some more, and we'll get those out to you. The association has invested well over $200,000 into upgrading your tools. As we all know, the current lock boxes have their issues at this point in time, many battery issues, expiring warranties. So it's a great opportunity to upgrade your tools, not only with some safety features that are built in, but also some new technical features. So we're excited to roll those out, and your RACI Board of Directors has made that purchase for you. So we're excited, and thanks to them for investing in your everyday tools. So, and in regards to that, Sherry Smith, who is our current RACI Board President, serves on the IAR, the Indiana Association of Realtors Board of Directors. And her term is up, and she's running again, and it is a contested race. So Region 2, which she is in, is basically Lafayette, Kokomo area, RACI area, and Mideastern, which is the Muncie area. So the other person running is out of the Lafayette area. So today and tomorrow are the last days to vote. So you should look for at your email for an email from IER, and please vote for Sherry. She does a great job representing us. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer. She is with SentriLock. Please ask any and all questions. She has great information. She is the source. She works directly with the vendor, and we're excited to have her here rolling out the tool today. So take it away, Jennifer.
So we are going to split the training up into 3 sections. The first section, we are going to be talking about your lock boxes and the SentriSmart mobile app. Does anybody currently use the mobile app? A good chunk, good. All right, and then section 2, we will talk about the card and then the differences between using the card and the mobile app. And then in section 3, it'll be your best practices, getting started and getting help, that type of stuff. The best practices slide is mainly your last slide, and then once we are done with that, it's pretty much click, click, and we'll get you out of here. So let's talk about the lockbox. The lockbox is similar to the blue NXT version and design that you're used to. So this is what it looks like. You will notice that here on the left side of the box is a little battery plug. In there you will be able to pick that out and then connect a battery kit to the lockbox, and then open up the key compartment, take the old batteries out and put the new batteries in the lockbox. The batteries on these lockboxes, they do last 6 to 8 years, so you won't have to worry about changing batteries for a little while. Also, on these boxes, if you press any of the numbers, you're not going to get any sort of a response from the box because it's asleep. But if you press enter, it will wake up the lockbox. And once you press enter, it'll actually start flashing the little Bluetooth light, and it's looking for a Bluetooth connection with a Bluetooth device, such as a smartphone or a tablet. Keep in mind that these lockboxes do not need cell coverage to access them. All you need is a Bluetooth connection. So in the areas that you don't have great cell service, as long as your cell phone supports Bluetooth, you'll still be able to access these lockboxes. On this, the only thing that I really talk about is where to find your SentriLock ID and password. It is about halfway down on the sheet. It would be the piece of paper that originally came with your Sentry card. So those of you that aren't currently logged into the app, that's where you can find your ID and password. Keep in mind, though, that the ID and password is actually the same one that you use to log on to the SentriLock website or renew your card at a card reader. So most of you should know that, but if not, that's where you'll go. So Sentry Smart. You will see 4 icons in the app. The little key is the mobile access, so basically to open up the key compartment when you're out showing properties. The little bell is your message center. In the message center is where you'll be able to go ahead and view the showing notifications, any low battery notifications, or if the association sends out like a global message to all of you. So the little lockbox is Lockbox Tools. That's where you're going to manage your lockboxes. If you need to generate a one-day code, release the shackle, assign the lockbox to a property, enable any sort of a mode like contractor codes, CBS mode, anything like that, and any customization. And then the 2 little gears is your settings. In the settings is where you would change any of your actual account information. So if you wanted to change your PIN number or your password, or enable the agent safety feature, or the RPR, the listing integration within the app. Also, one thing I want to mention is with mobile access, you are only able to have Sentry Smart installed and logged in on one device. So you can log in on your smartphone or on a tablet, but once you log off, if you log on to your smartphone first and then you switch to a tablet, it'll log you out of your phone. And then if you switch back to your phone, it'll log you out of your tablet. Keep in mind that you are limited as to how many times that you can switch back and forth between devices like that. It's for security purposes and just to make sure that it's not constantly being moved from device to device. So we are actually going to do a live demonstration on how to use the app. All right, so the first thing that you do when you get to a lockbox is you first want to press the enter key. Once you do that, the lockbox will appear at the top of the list. You will be able to click on it and select it. You'll type in your 4-digit PIN code, the same code that you never want to give out to anybody, and then say open. The app itself is going to talk to the lockbox using that Bluetooth connection, and it's going to open. Once it's opened, you're going to see on your screen where it says OK or key missing. If you were to select on key missing, it's going to ask you if you want to notify the lockbox owner. When you click on that, it's going to immediately send them an email notification saying that I was at your property and the property address, and it'll tell them the previous person that was there and to contact them because the key was missing. We'll go ahead and say cancel. Also, as soon as you open up the key compartment, it's going to ask you if you want to view the listing detail integration with RPR. If you have the RPR app already installed on your phone, it'll immediately pull that up and show you the listing information there. If you don't, it'll actually pull it up in your web browser on your phone. The next thing that we want to talk about is under Lockbox Tools. Keep in mind this is where you are going to be able to manage your lockboxes. We will go ahead and release the shackle on the lockbox. Once you click on Release Shackle, it's going to ask for your 4-digit PIN code, and then you click on Release. If you type in the right PIN code, it's going to then immediately release the shackle on the lockbox. You are no longer going to receive those 5 triple beeps that it's releasing. So do make sure that you hold on to the lockbox itself so that way it doesn't fall on any toes. If the lockbox is assigned to a property, it's going to ask you if you want to remove it from that address. If you are only moving the physical location of the lockbox on the property, you will say cancel. But if it is a closed listing or anything like that, you'll go ahead and select remove. So we'll go ahead and unassign it from that address. It's going to give you a message that it was successfully removed, and you'll say OK. Now to assign a lockbox to the property address, you'll click on that. Any of your currently active listings will go ahead and show up on there. Now, if the listing is brand new and it's not in the MLS or it hasn't imported over to the SentriLock website, you're going to click on where it says Can't Find Property. What it'll do there is ask you to put in the numerical portion of the address, and then once that listing gets inputted into the MLS and imported over to SentriLock, it'll go ahead and assign it for you in the background. We're going to go ahead and just say cancel for now, and we're going to assign it to the address. Once you've assigned it to the address, it's going to give you that message saying that it was successfully done, and you'll just say OK. Now we'll go ahead and walk through on how to get a one-day code. Keep in mind you don't have to be physically in front of the lockbox to generate the code, so you can do this remotely. Also, a one-day code can be generated up to 2 weeks in advance, so 14 days. And once the one-day code is used in a lockbox, 60 minutes later, that same one-day code is not going to work. So what we typically will suggest is if you're giving the code out to a contractor or somebody that's going to be at the lockbox for a few hours, give them 2 different codes. One code to open up the lockbox and to get into the property, and then they can close the key compartment, and then a second code to go ahead and put the keys back in and close it up. We typically say that so that way in case the key compartment won't close when they go to put the keys back in, that way they won't have any issues, as well as that way it'll show in the access log for you, both when they first arrived at the property and when they went ahead and left the property. We're going to go ahead and just assign this code now to the homeowners. And then we'll click on Get One Day Code. It is going to ask you for your 4-digit PIN code, so you're going to go ahead and type that in again and say One Day Code. Once it gives you that one-day code, you're going to have the capability to send that code out via text message or email to the person that you want to give the code to. If it is an iPhone or an Apple device, you're going to click on the square with the arrow up at the top right-hand corner. If you're on an Android, it's actually going to be in the middle of the screen right there, and it'll say Send To. We'll go ahead and click on this, and we're going to select to send it via text message. What it'll do is it'll go ahead and put the instructions as well as the code in a new text message for you to be able to select the contact and your contacts to send it to, and then you can select Send, so you don't have to worry about physically typing that information out directly for them. We'll go ahead and say cancel. And done. And then we're going to go under your settings. Keep in mind again that settings is where you will be able to see any of your user account information. So if you would like to, you can click on change PIN number or change password. It will ask for your current PIN number or password before you're able to actually change the information. And then also in here is where you're going to be able to enable the listing detail integration as well as your agent safety feature. If you go into agent safety, it will ask for your PIN number again, and then to go into your settings. In here, in order to enable agent safety, you are going to have to first select a contact. You can have one person or you can have multiple people set up as your agent safety contact. And then once you've added them down here at the bottom, and then you will be able to go ahead and enable it there at the top. And then one other thing is the message center. And here is where you're going to be able to see all of the messages that have been sent out to you, your showing notifications, both the beginning and ending notifications, as well as any low battery notifications, or any messages that the association themselves has sent out to all of the members. One thing that I do want to mention is as you guys are going about and taking the old lock boxes off and putting the new ones on the property, keep in mind that if you're using your Sentry card to release the shackle on it, it's not going to show that you've unassigned or removed that lockbox from that street address to be able to assign the new lockbox through the app to that listing address. So what I would suggest doing is unassign it on the website before you go out, and then that way once you're at the property you can release the shackle and then assign the new lockbox through the app. And then the only other thing that I want to mention is non-Bluetooth access. So if you are out showing property and for whatever reason you are trying to access a lockbox and the Bluetooth connection on your phone isn't working, what will happen is the lockbox will give you a code to access, or the app will give you a code to access the lockbox, similar to what you're probably already used to. It'll just tell you to press enter, put in that mobile access code and enter. So you'll still be able to access the lockbox that way if needed. All right, showing notifications. As most of you know, as soon as somebody accesses the lockbox, you'll get that beginning showing notification saying that they were there at your property. We have recently added the ending notifications as well. What happens is if they leave that property and is like a half of a mile away, or if they access another lockbox or 90 minutes has passed, that's when you're going to start seeing that ending notification sent to you as well. So agent safety, once you have enabled that feature there in the app, what will happen is when you open up a lockbox, it's going to ask you if you want to start your agent safety timer. If you say start, 90 seconds later, you're going to see that come up on your screen. And if you select I'm okay, it's going to ask for your PIN number, and then another 60 seconds, it's going to pop up again. And it's going to keep doing that until you say I'm okay, don't ask again, which then it'll ask for your PIN number again and it'll stop sending those notifications. If you click on send alert, it'll immediately send that alert out to all the people that you have designated as your security contact. If for whatever reason that alert pops up on your screen and you fail to acknowledge it and press one of the options, if that comes up twice, it'll immediately send the alert out to your contacts. All right, so the Sentry card. Anytime that you are using the app, if you renew your Sentry card at a card reader or in a lockbox, it's going to block you from using the app to open up the key compartment on other lockboxes. So if you're primarily going to be using the Sentry Smart Mobile app, what we tell you to do is just keep it there in your purse, in your wallet, in your car, whatever's best, and just use it mainly as a backup to gain access to the lockboxes. Going forward, starting on September 25th, your Sentry card is going to have to be renewed every day. So if you're going to be a Sentry card user, every day you're going to have to update your card. Keep in mind, though, that if you update your card after 4 p.m., then your card will be updated until the following day at midnight. So again, to open up the key compartment on lockboxes, you can use the app or you can use your Sentry card. It works both ways. Notifications, if you use SentriSmart, that notification is sent out immediately to the listing agent to let them know that you are there at the property. But if you use the card, it gets sent as soon as they update their card in the card reader. You can assign lockboxes to the listing address, release a shackle, all that there in the app as well as with the card. But if you wanted to do any customization, reports, get a one-day code, you can do that in SentriSmart. But if you use the card, you would have to be doing that through the website. And then updates, the app does automatically update every night at midnight. So it'll check our servers and recognize that you are a valid agent and a valid member. So that way you'll be able to gain access the next day to where the card you would have to physically go and update at a card reader every day. So secure key access, again, you can only have one active device at a time to access the key compartment on a lockbox. So if your card is currently the active key for you, you're not going to be able to use SentriSmart to open up the key compartment, but you can still use the app to manage your boxes, generate one-day codes, release a shackle, assign it to a property, all that. And then on October 2nd is when that'll actually fully go into effect. For the time being, we are giving you like a grace period basically to be able to use both of them simultaneously to get the old boxes off and put new boxes on. Best practices. These lock boxes, they are water resistant, not waterproof. So make sure you do not hang them on a downspout or water spigot. You want to hang the lockbox as vertical as possible so that way all the water can flow out of the lockbox. If you have it at any sort of an angle, the water will stay stored there in the box, and that's going to damage the lockbox. You want to make sure that you are rotating the lockboxes to maximize the battery life on it. What that means is as soon as you take one box off of a property, put it at the back of your inventory and grab a new one to put it on a new listing. And then anything that goes inside of the key compartment on the lockbox, make sure it does fit securely into that gray bin. And then the listing agents are the ones that will be able to receive the showing notifications. So make sure that you are assigning the lockbox to your listings, or else your broker is going to get all those notifications and they may start yelling at you, depending on how nice they are. All right, so reciprocal access. There are other regions that you guys have reciprocity with. Obviously, MyBor is a big one. They may or may not have the Bluetooth lockboxes. So just keep in mind that you are still going to be able to access the lockboxes with the app, and you'll just get a mobile access code to open up the key compartment. It won't be as quickly. You'll have to type in that on the lockbox directly. Also, if you get out to a lockbox and you are using the app and for whatever reason it's an older box and you don't have cell service, what will happen is the app is going to give you a renewal code to update your card for the day. So then that way you can use the card to access the box. So you can always carry that card as a backup for just in case. Everybody, when they leave today, is going to receive this Start Here resource information sheet. And then anybody that is a managing broker is going to be able to obtain the lock boxes out at the big enterprise truck out back. And then if you want to receive any additional help, I would suggest visiting our YouTube channel. It's SentriLock 1. We have all kinds of YouTube videos on the Bluetooth lock boxes, on using SentriSmart. Also, if you visit sentrilock.com/help, it looks similar to this screen right here, and it will ask you for what subject basically you want help with, and then it's going to give you actually step-by-step instructions on how to do what it is you're trying to do. The easiest way to contact our support department is actually through the app itself. If you click on that little phone icon there in the top right-hand corner, it's going to ask you if you want to dial the number, and you just say call, and it'll immediately start calling support, so you don't have to worry about actually looking up the phone number. That is a lovely picture of our support department back in Cincinnati. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you brief us on how borrowing lockboxes work? Like if we're on a team and they're all assigned to one person, but somebody else in the team needs to remove it?
So if you're on a team, as long as you are physically on a team, you'll be able to release the shackle and everything. It'll show up in the under Lockbox Tools, so it won't have any issues.
So any of the team members could release it as long as you guys have us assigned
Set up as a team, correct.
And you do that through the sign-in thing, right? Like when you update your key card?
You can do it through the card utility or on the SentriLock website.
Okay.
It's agent teams. You'd be able to click on it and then it would ask you who you want to add as your team member, and then they would have to do the same thing for you. Anything else?
I have a little tip
Yeah.
that I learned the hard way. If you release the box from the house, make sure you've already gotten your key out of the lockbox first. Otherwise, you have to reassign the lockbox to the house in order to open the door to get your key out. So make sure you take the key out first before you.
You should still be able to open the
I've
key
never been able
compartment.
to.
Well, if you hit on there, remove it from the lock, then you can't get it.
Right.
But if you hit cancel, you can still get the key.
Oh,
Because you
have
can
to-
go under mobile
You have to hit
access.
cancel. This is, you want to remove this from the listing, and if you say no or cancel, you'll still be able to get your key.
Okay, but if you've already removed it, then you can't get your key out.
You can
Right.
go under
If you
mobile
already- if you hit-
access.
If you hit that remove from listing, you can't get it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. You go under mobile access and you would be able to then open up the key compartment. If you're trying to do it though under Lockbox Tools, that's where you may have issues.
Okay.
So make sure you go back under the mobile access section because it's still going to allow you to open up the key compartment that way.
Under mobile access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything else? No? All right, well then we can go ahead and let you out. Renee is going to go ahead and provide you with that resource information sheet as you walk out the door.